ready to dive deep into some open source, low-code development platforms.
Yeah, let's do it. We've got a ton of info to unpack.
We're basically going through a stack of GitHub repositories today.
It's like a cheat sheet for figuring out which of these platforms are worth a closer look.
Exactly. So, on the list today, we've got Bootybase, Epitable, Directus, Frappe, Chi, Ella Builder, Sailor, SurrealDB, and Windmill. Phew, that's a mouthful.
It's a good representation of what's out there, though, and they all have different strengths, even though they all fall under this low-code umbrella.
True. So where should we start?
Well, if you're all about efficiency, maybe let's start with the platforms that are all about speed and simplicity, like Bootybase.
Okay, Bootybase. Their thing seems to be building internal apps and workflows and doing it quickly.
Yeah, minutes, they say. They're definitely targeting developers, too, with the whole Docker and Kubernetes support they're pushing.
Right. I see they even mention specific databases right in their headline, PostgreSQL, Mongo.
They're not messing around.
So it's really that easy. To build an app in minutes, what's the catch?
Well, that's the whole point of low-code, right? It's about abstracting away the complexity.
Sure, but how?
Bootybase does it with pre-built modules, visual interfaces.
Yeah.
You don't have to write every single line of code yourself.
Interesting. So less time coding, more time actually building.
Exactly. And it seems like developers are into it if their GitHub stars are anything to go by.
How many stars do they have?
Over 20,000.
Wow, that's a lot of developers giving them a thumbs up. Okay, what's next on our list?
How about Epitable?
Yeah.
They're going right after Airtable, actually.
Oh, really? In what way?
They literally say they're better than all other Airtable open source alternatives.
Wow. Those are fighting words.
Yeah, they're not shying away from the competition, but they seem to be backing it up with their approach.
Which is?
API first. Everything is built around APIs, which basically means it's designed to work really well with other applications.
Integrations are always good.
Exactly. And for teams, they've got real-time collaboration, flexible permissions, that kind of thing.
They even mention a canvas rendering engine for a super fast database spreadsheet interface. That's quite a mouthful. What does that even mean?
It basically means that Epitable should feel really fast and responsive, even if you're working with a lot of data.
So no more staring at loading screens for ages. Music to my ears.
Exactly. Okay, want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, let's do it. What's next?
Directus,
okay. And what's their claim to fame?
Flexibility. Big time. They're all about working with whatever SQL database you already have.
Okay, I like that. No need to start from scratch or learn a whole new system.
Exactly. And they support a ton of databases. PostgreSQL, MySQL, SQL, you name it.
So you can kind of mold it to fit your existing setup.
Precisely.
Nice. Okay, I'm ready for the next one. Hit me.
All right, let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about Frappe.
Frappe? How do you even pronounce that?
It's Frappe, like pay, but with a fra at the beginning.
Okay, Frappe. Got it. And what is it?
It's a low-code framework, but it's for building like really serious real-world applications, as they call it.
Yeah.
They seem to be pretty popular for building ERP systems.
ERP systems.
Yeah.
What are those?
Enterprise resource planning. It's basically the software that runs a whole business. Finance, inventory, human resources, all that stuff.
So pretty important then.
Yeah, essential for a lot of companies. But they're notoriously complex to build, which is where Frappe comes in.
So Frappe makes it easier to build these like super complex business systems.
Exactly. It gives you pre-built modules, tools, that kind of thing, specifically for those kinds of applications.
Interesting. Okay, what else do we have on our list?
Okay, this one's called GoChi, or just Chi, actually.
It's Chi, like the Greek letter.
Yep, that's the one.
Okay, and what did they do?
It's a little different from the other ones we've talked about. It's not a full-on low-code platform. It's more of a routing library.
A routing library. Explain it to me like I'm 5. What's that?
Okay, so imagine you're building a house, right? A routing library is like the framework that determines how all the rooms are connected and how people can move between those rooms.
So it's like the walls and hallways?
Kind of, but for code.
So instead of people, it's data moving between different parts of the application.
Exactly. Chi helps developers who are using the Go programming language build really efficient, maintainable backends for their applications.
Okay, so it's like a behind-the-scenes thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's not as flashy as some of these other platforms, but it's super important in the Go ecosystem.
Gotcha. Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense.
A lot of people are using it, that's for sure. Anyway, let's talk about Ella Builder. They're all about internal tools.
Internal tools, right, like dashboards, admin panels, all that good stuff.
Exactly. And their thing is making it super easy to build those without having to spend a fortune or, like, get a computer science degree.
Because internal tools can get really complicated really fast.
Oh, yeah. But IllaBuilder wants to make it as easy as, like, dragging and dropping things with your mouse.
So pre-built components, visual development, all that.
All of that. Plus, they make it easy to connect to different databases and APIs.
Cool. So you can hook it up to all your existing systems.
Exactly.
Nice. I like it. What's next?
Let's talk e-commerce.
Ooh, okay. Getting into the online shopping world.
Yeah, our next platform is Sailor, and they're all about building something called headless e-commerce experiences.
Headless e-commerce. What does that even mean?
It's a more flexible way of building online stores.
Flexible app.
So traditionally, your e-commerce platform kind of dictates how everything looks and works on the front end, right?
Right.
With a headless approach, you have more freedom to customize the front end however you want.
Okay, so you're not stuck with whatever templates or designs the platform gives you.
Exactly. You can make it look exactly how you want, connect it to whatever systems you want.
Interesting. So Sailor is all about giving developers more control.
Yeah, and they're aiming for some pretty big clients, too. They even name-drop some impressive companies in their README.
Oh, really? Like hinting that their platform can handle, like, enterprise-level stuff?
Exactly. They're definitely not just targeting small businesses here.
Interesting. Okay, what's our next platform then?
All right, prepare to have your mind slightly bent, because this next one is called SurrealDB.
SurrealDB, that sounds kind of intimidating.
It's definitely a unique name, and they have a pretty bold claim, too.
Yeah, it is.
They call themselves the ultimate cloud database for tomorrow's applications.
Okay, so what makes them so ultimate? And so tomorrow?
It's all about how they handle data.
Okay.
So most databases, they fit into a specific category, right? Like you have document databases, graph databases, relational databases.
Right.
SurrealDB wants to be all of them at the same time.
Wait, what? How is that even possible?
It's a lot to get into, but they call it a multi-model approach.
Multi-model. So it can be a document database and a graph database at the same time?
Exactly.
When would you ever need that kind of flexibility?
If you're building something really complex where you need to store different types of data, connect them in different ways.
I see. So if you need a database that can do it all, SurrealDB might be worth a look.
Exactly.
SurrealDB. Definitely one to check out. Okay, what's the last stop on our low-code tour today?
Let's finish up with Windmill.
Windmills. Okay. Open source developer infrastructure for internal tools, they say. Sounds like another one for building those internal apps we were talking about earlier.
Yep, exactly. But they're doing it a little differently. Their whole thing is about turning scripts, like actual code, into fully functional applications.
So it's not quite as drag and drop as some of the others.
It's not just dragging and dropping, no. But you're not building everything from scratch either.
Okay, so it's like a middle ground.
Yeah, you can say that.
Yeah.
It's for developers who are comfortable with code, but they want some help with things like workflow automation, UI generation, that kind of thing.
So more power and flexibility.
Exactly. And they're serious about speed, too. They actually claim to be 13 times faster than Airflow for workflow execution.
13 times faster. That's a bold claim.
It is. It is. Whether it's actually 13 times faster, who knows? But they're definitely fast.
Interesting. Okay, I'm convinced. I'll have to try it out.
Yeah.
So we've covered a lot of ground here. Bootybase, Apitable, Directus, Frappe, Che, IllaBuilder, Sailor, SurrealDB, Windmill. It's amazing to see how much is out there in the world of open source low code.
Yeah, and it's only going to get bigger and better, I think. The open source community is really driving innovation in this space.
It's a good time to be a developer, that's for sure. Any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap up? Any advice for someone who's maybe just starting to explore all of this?
Don't be afraid to experiment. That's the beauty of open source. Download a few of these platforms, try them out, see what you like.
Exactly. It's like speed dating, but for developer tools.
Exactly.
Find the one that's right for you. Or, hey, maybe you'll be inspired to create the next big thing in open source low-code development yourself. That's all the time we have for today's deep dive, but we'll be back soon with another episode. Until then, happy coding.